Dear students, in the last few classes, we discussed about one of the important biomolecules, that is about proteins. Today, we are going to discuss about another biomolecule, that is about carbohydrate. So, what are carbohydrates? Carbohydrates are one of the important classes of biomolecules. We know that different types of biomolecules are there, like carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acids, lipids, etc. So one of the important class of biomolecules is carbohydrates. Then carbohydrates are the sugars, starches and fibers found in fruits, grains, vegetables and milk products. So they can be in the form of sugars like glucose, fructose, then starches, then fibers. They are present in fruits, grains, then breads, pasta, milk products, etc. Along with proteins and fats, carbohydrates are one of the three main nutrients found in foods. So one of the important nutrient is carbohydrate. So these food items contain carbohydrates, that means fruits, vegetables, then grains, all these contain carbohydrates. These are the main source of carbohydrates. Now let us know about the chemical composition of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are composed of the elements carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. Most of them conform to the general formula CxH2O. Conform means they obey the formula CxH2O. X and Y may be different numbers. They are not, however, hydrates of carbon. They cannot be considered as the hydrates of carbon, but they have the formula CxH2O. They are polyfunctional compounds. Polyfunctional means they contain more than one functional groups. So they contain hydroxyl groups, that means OH functional group, and carbonyl group CO. It may be a ketonic group or an aldehyde group. So generally carbohydrates contain hydroxyl groups and carbonyl group. The simpler carbohydrates give reactions of aldehydes and ketones. So generally simpler carbohydrates means they contain only one saccharide unit. Saccharide means carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates give reactions of aldehydes and ketones, whereas the complex ones, when hydrolyzed, yield similar compounds which give reactions typical of aldehydes and ketones. Simple carbohydrate means, for example, glucose. It is a simple carbohydrate, also known as monosaccharide. Saccharide is another name for carbohydrate. So complex carbohydrate means it is made up of more than one carbohydrate unit. That means it may be a disaccharide, or trisaccharide, or even polysaccharide. For example, maltose. Maltose is a disaccharide. So it consists of two glucose units. So which on hydrolysis we will get simpler compound. That means when we hydrolyze maltose, we will get two glucose units. So that will again give the reactions of aldehydes and ketones. That means glucose contains the functional group aldehyde group. So it will give the reactions of aldehydes and hydroxyl group. If the monosaccharide unit contains ketones, it will give the reactions of ketones and hydroxyl group. So simpler carbohydrates give the reactions of aldehydes and ketones. That means In some carbohydrate units there will be aldehyde group, and in some other carbohydrates there will be ketone functional group. So they will give the reactions of aldehydes and ketones. But in the case of complex ones, they first hydrolyze and then the similar compounds again give the reactions of aldehydes and ketones. So carbohydrates are generally polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones, or in other words they are compounds which yield these means polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones on hydrolysis. Generally they are polyhydroxyaldehydes or polyhydroxyketones, but sometimes we will get polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones by hydrolysis. That type of compounds are also known as carbohydrates. Now let us know about the classification of carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are generally classified into sugars and non-sugars. Non-sugars are also known as polysaccharides. They are generally classified based on their crystallinity, water solubility and taste. So based on the crystallinity, water solubility and taste, they can be classified into sugars and non-sugars. So what are sugars? They are carbohydrates which are crystalline in nature, sweet and water soluble. For example, glucose, fructose, sucrose. Then non-sugars. These are carbohydrates which are amorphous in nature. Amorphous means they are not crystalline. Then tasteless and water insoluble. For example, starch, cellulose. So based on their crystallinity and water solubility and taste, they can be classified into sugars and non-sugars. Then on the basis of behavior towards hydrolysis, sugars are again subdivided into monosaccharides and oligosaccharides, while the non-sugars come under the class polysaccharides. So carbohydrates are generally classified into sugars and non-sugars. Then non-sugars come under the class of polysaccharides. Then you don't need to learn this classification, homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides. Then sugars are again classified into monosaccharides and oligosaccharides. Monosaccharides under the classification of monosaccharides, aldoses and ketoses come. Then aldoses means these are the monosaccharides which contain the functional group aldehyde, that is CHO functional group. If the monosaccharide contains ketonic functional group, they are known as ketoses. Then oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides are carbohydrates which upon hydrolysis we will get 2,2,9 monosaccharide molecules. That means if the oligosaccharide on hydrolysis, we will get two monosaccharide molecules. That means if a particular oligosaccharide on hydrolysis, if we get two monosaccharide molecules, that is known as disaccharide. If we get 3 molecules, then it is known as trisaccharide. Then tetrasaccharide means if the oligosaccharide on hydrolysis we will get, if we get 4 monosaccharide molecules, then that is tetrasaccharide. Then up to 9, 2 to 9 monosaccharide molecules are included in oligosaccharides. That means if we get 9 monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis, that is also come under the classification of oligosaccharides. So this is the general classification of carbohydrates. So next we can see what are monosaccharides. Monosaccharides are carbohydrates which cannot be hydrolyzed into simpler compounds. Saccharide means it is another name for carbohydrates. So mono means one unit. So we cannot hydrolyze monosaccharides into further simpler compounds. These are the simple compounds, so we cannot hydrolyze them into further simpler compounds. So Most of them conform to the general formula CH2O n times. Depending upon the number of carbon atoms n, it contains a monosaccharide is called a triose. Then tetrose, for triose n is equal to 3, for tetrose n is equal to 4, then for pentose n is equal to 5, for hexose n is equal to 6, and so on. So depending upon the number of carbon atoms, we can name them as triose, tetrose, pentose, hexose, etc. The important naturally occurring monosaccharides are pentoses and hexoses. Important monosaccharides are pentoses and hexoses, naturally occurring. Then monosaccharides containing an aldehyde group are called aldoses, and those containing a keto group are called ketoses. So if a monosaccharide unit contains an aldehyde group, that is known as aldoses. If it contains a keto group, that means CO group, they are it is called ketose. So these are some fundamental ideas about monosaccharides. Here you can see some of the examples for monosaccharide molecules. Ribose, C5 formula C5H10O5 is an aldopentose. This is the structure of ribose. It is known as aldopentose. Aldo means it contains an aldehyde group. Then pentose means it contains 5 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then another monosaccharide is glucose. It is an aldohexose. Formula C6H12O6. Aldohexose means it contains an aldehyde group and 6 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is an aldohexose. Then another monosaccharide is fructose, having the formula C6H12O6. Glucose and fructose are having the same formula, but they have different structures. In fructose, we have you can see one ketonic functional group is there. Then number of carbon atoms 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon atoms and 1 ketonic functional group in the case of fructose, and 6 carbon atoms and 1 aldehyde functional group in the case of glucose. These are some common monosaccharide molecules. Then what are oligosaccharides? Oligosaccharides are carbohydrates which upon hydrolysis give 2 to 9 monosaccharide molecules per each molecule. So oligosaccharides are those carbohydrates which on hydrolysis we will get 2 to 9 monosaccharide molecules. Then they are further classified into disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharides, etc. depending upon whether they yield respectively 2, 3, 4, etc. monosaccharide molecules per each molecule on hydrolysis. That means if an oligosaccharide molecule on hydrolysis we will get 2 monosaccharide molecules, then that oligosaccharide is known as disaccharide. If an oligosaccharide molecule on hydrolysis we get 3 monosaccharide molecules, then that is known as trisaccharide. Like that, if we get 4 monosaccharide molecules, that is known as tetrasaccharides. So for one molecule we get more monosaccharide molecules, that is oligosaccharides. So we will get up to 2 to 9 monosaccharide molecules on hydrolysis. Of these, the disaccharides are the most important. Then the disaccharides are carbohydrates which upon hydrolysis give 2 monosaccharide molecules per each molecule. So if the disaccharide is the oligosaccharide, then which on hydrolysis we will get 2 monosaccharide molecules. For example, sucrose, molecular formula C12H22O11 is a disaccharide which on hydrolysis yields glucose and fructose. Different types of monosaccharide. Glucose is one monosaccharide, another monosaccharide is fructose. So 2 monosaccharide molecules are obtained from the hydrolysis of sucrose molecule. So this is a disaccharide. Then another disaccharide is maltose. Both are having same molecular formula. Is another disaccharide which on hydrolysis yields 2 molecules of glucose per molecule of it. That means on hydrolysis on hydrolysis of 1 molecule of maltose we will get 2 molecules of glucose. So that is why it is known as disaccharide. So sucrose and maltose are disaccharides, whereas glucose and fructose are monosaccharides. Next we are going to discuss about polysaccharides. So polysaccharides are carbohydrates which upon hydrolysis yield a large number of monosaccharide molecules per each molecule. So on hydrolysis of a polysaccharide molecule we will get large number of monosaccharide molecules. They are polymeric compounds in which hundreds or even thousands of monosaccharide units are joined through oxygen bridges are called glycosidic linkages. So in polysaccharide molecules, large number of monosaccharide molecules are connected through oxygen bonds or oxygen bridges. That oxygen bridge is known as glycosidic linkages. So monosaccharide molecules are connected through glycosidic linkages in polysaccharide molecule. For example, starch and cellulose both are having the formula C6H10O5 N times. Yield a large number of glucose molecules on hydrolysis. So the monosaccharide molecule for starch and cellulose is glucose units. That means on hydrolysis of starch and cellulose we will get glucose molecules. The starch is a polymer made of alpha glucose units, whereas cellulose is a polymer containing beta glucose units. So monomer of starch is alpha glucose units, then monomer of cellulose is beta glucose units. So what is alpha glucose and what is beta glucose, that we will discuss, that you can understand when we discuss about the structure of the glucose molecules. They differ in the orientation of functional group, OH functional group. So that's about the some fundamental ideas about the carbohydrates, their classification. They are generally classified into sugars and non-sugars. Sugars are again classified into monosaccharides, oligos and oligosaccharides. Non-sugars are classified into polysaccharides. So that's about the carbohydrates. Thank you.